and fall to 1-3 on the road.
Whenever there's a void, be prepared for someone to fill it. And tonight, the Indiana Pacers were like, oh, you guys want to keep talking about all of the people that are not available for our team? Don't worry. We got Aaron Nesmith that's going to step up. Yep. We got Quentin Jackson that's going to step up. Wow. Of course, Pascal Siakam is going to do what he's supposed to do. But the Indiana Pacers, congrats to them. They got their first win, and they shut up a lot of people, and they reminded the Warriors, you keep doing this. Keep giving guys that aren't supposed to be the stars these big-time performances. I mean, 25 and 10 out of Quentin Jackson.
He was undrafted in 2022, Zena. Who is Quentin Jackson?
I'm looking at tweets. People are like, who's Quentin Jackson? He's frying us right now. This is a learning lesson for the Warriors. Again, as you mentioned, young season. Yep. But still, this is a win they were supposed to notch.
Yeah, now instead of going 3-1 this week, Zena, they fall to 2-2. All the good vibes from the back-to-back at home in which they swept against Memphis and the Clippers. You go on the road for a pit stop in Milwaukee and Indiana, and you give it right back.
Yeah, you cannot do this, especially considering you just said it. They played last night. But you looked at the way that the Warriors came out. We said that you cannot come out on your heels. You cannot come out chilling. You cannot come out tepid. And that's exactly what it was. It was given lukewarm for the first 3 quarters. And then that second unit picked it up, and then right at crunch time, another clutch game lost now for the Warriors.
Yeah, the non-Curry minutes went well for the Golden State Warriors today. As he went out in that third quarter, they were down 73-67. Indiana was running. Live ball turnovers once again. Jackson getting out on the break. And he was talking that talk. Look at him talk to Buddy. Yeah. Picked up the technical, and then the Warriors started rolling. They were up plus 15, Zena, in the non-Steph Curry minutes in the second half.
Because paint touches started happening. You saw the Warriors figure out, ooh, look what happens when I penetrate, when I move some defense. And they were able to get things going in that third quarter going into the top of the fourth. And they were starting to pressure. Once again, I mean, Quentin Post being able to put up a 3 always is going to be great for the defense. But on the defensive end, just being able to contest at the basket, and then Jimmy Butler being what he can be, which is a person that gets in the paint and finishes some tough buckets alongside Jonathan Kuminga.
And Jonathan Kuminga had about 5 dunks today, Zena.
Woo!
Quentin Post cleaned up the trash right there with the putback. Man. He scored 9 off the bench. And again, the non-Steph minutes, a plus 15. Jimmy started rolling. Brandon Podziemski with 10 points in that third quarter to find his rhythm. And what you thought, okay, maybe Indiana doesn't have enough gas left in the tank after playing last night. They threw their best punch at the Golden State Warriors. And then Steph is coming back in. And as you know that the Warriors were up 104-93, but then Indiana started putting on the pressure again. They end this basketball game, Zena, on a 21-5 run.
The last thing you want are people doing drills against you at the end of the game, going up and down the court in transition. But one thing that really happened in that fourth quarter, those outside shots that weren't falling early for Indiana fell well in that fourth quarter, and they were able to find each other. Their spacing was phenomenal, but then on top of that, the transition, which started these clips just running. It was a track meet. You even heard Jonathan Kuminga at halftime trying to talk to Fitz and Kalena, just like out of breath, talking about how fast they are, and they were just being able to get a few more shots up throughout the game, ended up with 89 overall versus the Warriors 90, which they had to catch up in terms of possessions.
And that's just a tough shot there. Jonathan Kuminga with some great defense, but again, Indiana picking up the offensive rebound. And Jackson from the top of the key to give the Pacers a lead, 109-107. Also, Zena, Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry missing some clutch free throws down the stretch. You wonder if fatigue has something to do with it, because we thought this was an and one. Jimmy Butler hanging on the rim. Great move right here. Shows the hops, hangs on the rim, but he misses the free throw for the and one.
It was uncharacteristic, and I don't remember if Kalena said something about free throws at that moment. Might have gotten the broadcaster's curse there. But it was a tough ending, especially when you got that dagger 3 from Pascal Siakam. You can't even get on Jonathan Kuminga right there. He came out on Pascal Siakam and anticipated what he had been doing all night, which was driving. In this moment, what did the drive do? It's the end bucket, the version of night-night for Indiana. Quentin Jackson was feeling himself all night. If you ain't know who he was before tonight, you know now.
And we'll know when they come to Chase Center next Sunday to take on these same Golden State Warriors. Quentin Jackson will be feeling it. That stat line, 25 points, Zena, 10 rebounds, no turnovers. And the Pacers took care of the ball in the second half there. Again, Nesmith with 31 points. 5 of 11 from the three-point line. He entered tonight shooting 34% from the three-point line, but we know he's a career 41% shooter from the perimeter. But Pascal Siakam, 27 points, 12 of 23 from the floor, really carrying the load for Indiana tonight.
And carrying the load in the most important moments of the game, right? Just being able to open it up. I mean, there were so many quick, in the middle of the zone passes that Pascal Siakam was catching. Nice, easy bunny for them. So it's getting them going offensively and then also running in transition. You just love when you give the ball to Siakam, he can get into the middle of the paint very easily. And that was the problem. We know point of attack defense has been an issue all season long for the Warriors. And it doesn't help that you don't have a great back line of defense to be able to stop him. So as Siakam's just backing folks down, he can pull up, he can get in, he can hesitate, he can finish at the basket with contact. And that's exactly what he was doing all night. I mean, couldn't hit his outside shot until when? Yeah. When it mattered, right? Hit that nice dagger three at the end of the game. Yep. Pascal did it all for them.
You mentioned it was a good closeout by Kuminga there, but whether it was Kuminga on Pascal Siakam or Jonathan Kuminga, it did not matter. He got to his spots all night long for Indiana. And then Aaron Nesmith, we highlighted him in our pregame show saying, boy, he's been struggling. And you knew he was waiting for his breakout game. Well, with Stephen Curry on the floor, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, the Golden State Warrior logo, he did that. He showed us who he was in the Eastern Conference Finals last season against the Knicks. 31 points, Zena, 5 of 11 from the three-point line. A career high for Aaron Nesmith in scoring points.
Listen, Nesmith, I don't know if you're listening. You probably aren't. But if you get this clip, we apologize because we ain't put enough respect on your name in the pregame show. I mean, understandably, though. 34 points coming in, or 34% from three coming into the season. But last season, during the regular season, he was about 43%. And then during the finals was in that 40 category as well. So we know he can shoot. He just hadn't been doing it until what happens? The Warriors defense showed up. Come on, Warriors. Come on, Warriors. You can't let people go off on you. Yeah, it was a tough night for the Warriors when he was out there being able to hit on the corner. He was a rhythm shooter as well and was just set up for success.
And look, the Warriors won their first two games this week against the Grizzlies and the Clippers. They didn't need much from Stephen Curry. Had some quiet offensive nights. On the road trip, they needed Stephen Curry. Tonight, he struggled, going 8 of 23 from the floor, Zena. They probably played their best basketball in this game when he went to the bench midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, a lot of the shots for Stephen Curry were, again, yes, movement shots off of screens, but it was the launches that were so far, and the Warriors were not doing a great job of rebounding. Indiana Pacers were coming in and stopping plays from the shot. Steph Curry could not be the focal point in the offense when you know a defense is not good in the paint. They should have been finding more ways to get him closer to the basket or utilizing his gravity to get things open up for the Warriors closer to the basket.
Yeah, you mentioned it, getting inside the paint, getting inside the three-point line. 16 of his 23 field goal attempts came from the Warriors. Lose to the winless Pacers, 114-109 as the Pacers score 61 second half points. They shoot 46% in the final two quarters of this basketball game. Quentin Jackson went off for 17 of his 25 in the second half, Zena. 7 of 8 from the floor. You see the overall numbers here again. We're going to talk about the turnovers. 16 turnovers, a lot of them live ball turnovers. At one point, they had 5 moving screens. Zena, 5 turnovers, the first 10 turnovers, 5 of them were moving screens. So not doing the little things, not doing the fundamental things today against Indiana.
I mean, you love the fact that they're dead ball turnovers, so you're not being run up and down the court like they were in the live ball turnovers. But it is, again, attention to detail, mental focus, minding your own. And that was the start of the game. That's the tone you're setting early in the game of just trying to get things done for your teammate in terms of trying to set things up, but attention to detail. And so when you've got a little bit of a lapse, that breaks your rhythm. That breaks your rhythm when you're having to deal with multiple calls being called against you. At one point I looked down, I think it was the first quarter, top of the second, 12-4 was the foul count. And that's not going to help you get your offense going. It's not, especially when you're on the road. It was a really tough start for the Warriors, even when they were still battling and going back to back in terms of exchanging buckets.
You know, I'm thinking of a word to try to describe this game, Zena. But why would I use my brain when I have the pride of Yale sitting right next to me?
Love that.
When you've been to the mountaintop as many times as the Golden State Warriors have, every stumble feels magnified. Every doubt gets louder. Every analyst, every headline, every podcast starts asking the same question. Is the Dynasty finally running out of gas? And this week, that voice belonged to Charles Barkley. The TNT legend didn't hold back. He questioned whether Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green could still go the distance. could this veteran core, all in their mid-30s, survive an 82-game marathon and still have enough left for a deep playoff run? It wasn't hate, it was doubt. The kind that every great champion faces when time starts whispering in their ear. But here's the thing, Dub Nation. Stephen Curry didn't get defensive. He didn't clap back. He didn't drop a fiery soundbite for the headlines. Instead, he spoke with honesty. And that's exactly why you should believe in this team even more. After the tough loss to the Indiana Pacers, Curry stood there and admitted something that only true leaders say. The veterans are tired. 7 games in just 2 weeks, non-stop travel, back-to-backs. The grind of the NBA season doesn't care about your resume. It doesn't care about the rings on your fingers. It tests you, breaks you, and asks, do you still want it as bad as before? Curry's answer wasn't an excuse. It was a challenge. He said, understand what you need to do to get your body, your mind ready to bring your best self. And then he added something powerful. Even if you don't have it physically, you've got to control the game with your brain. That line says everything about what makes Golden State special. When the legs get heavy, the mind steps up. When the shots stop falling, the experience takes over. These Warriors have built a legacy not just on athleticism, but on IQ, teamwork, and heart. Let's be real. The NBA has changed. The league is faster, younger, hungrier. Guys like Ryan Rollins in Milwaukee and Quentin Jackson in Indiana just reminded everyone that new names are rising. But that's what makes this Warriors era even more remarkable. Because for nearly a decade, Stephen Curry and his crew were the young guns. They were the ones flipping the script on the old guard. Now, they're the standard, the blueprint that every modern team tries to copy. So when the new generation pushes them, it's not a sign of decline. It's proof that the Warriors revolutionized basketball so deeply that even their imitators are now thriving in their image. And that's the ultimate compliment. Still, let's not sugarcoat it. Curry knows the clock is ticking. Jimmy Butler knows it. Draymond Green feels it every time he bangs in the paint with guys 10 years younger. But they also know something Barkley and the rest of the critics might be forgetting. Championship DNA doesn't fade with age. It refines. This is a roster built for moments that require calm under fire. You don't need to be the fastest when you're the smartest. You don't need to outrun the youth when you can outthink them. When Curry talks about controlling a game with his brain, that's not metaphor.